guys. You gotta understand that I'm impartial.
We're not giving you the credit.
You gotta show
this you can't get credit for because this is only you showing yourself that you're right. This is not no love Gunna. This is not no love for Gunna. This is Demar showing love for Demar. Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
I respect Gunna.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of Album Mode. We review a new album every single week, looking at the lyrics, the production, the overall aesthetic of the album, and how the album fits into the context of that artist's career. If you're watching us on YouTube, like this video, give us a share, leave us a comment, let us know what you think. My name is Adriel Smiley, aka AdrielSmiley.com, aka Adriel Smiley Official, aka The Godfather, and I'm here with His Royal Highness, aka the Bunny, King Grant.
What's happening, people? We're back. We're also here with our producer, Agent Zero, Patient Zero, Chris. And this is like the second most requested episode of Album Mode is when people are like, okay, they always want to hear the albums of the year. I get it. Every year, people want to hear, what's the best album? What do you think is your best album? What is your favorite album? You know, et cetera, et cetera. But this time, since we have, you know, we've been doing doubles and we've been doing the sound bites, but this time we're like, okay, we've been deep in the trenches, right? Listening to so many different albums, but then there's just like the songs that just like fly past us.
Yes.
During the year, or the songs that, you know, get stuck on repeat during the year, or you just see it a million times on TikTok. That has happened to me for a couple of the songs on my list. But we're doing the top 10 songs of the year. Okay, this is our first time doing top 10 songs of the year. Right. I'm
gonna first time doing top 10 songs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually make a prediction that we're gonna maybe have 2 of the same songs.
Okay. Maybe
3, but I think we're gonna have complete different songs. So if you need new music,
yeah, this is the spot.
This is the spot for you.
We did albums and we literally only had one album, and that was Lahai.
Two. And Caliuchis.
Yeah, and Caliuchis, right?
Yeah.
So that was at the very top of the list.
Yeah.
Obviously. So this year, 2023 has basically just been like a smattering of these like very sticky, very fun songs. Some of them have like dance crazes with them. Some of them I saw translate to different like parts of the internet. Like I saw it start someplace, and then I'm like, wait,
somewhere else.
Yeah, I saw somewhere else. I'm like, what are you doing this dance? You know what I mean? So songs of the year, and I think just like 2023 overall, and like the way the internet and music works is really interesting right now. So I'm really curious on what our top 10 songs for 2023 are. I started in the albums,
yes,
right? So I want you to start with the songs. You go number 10, your song.
I think either some people are going to be upset this is even on my list, or upset it's number 10. But to me, this was I had to include it. That's Ski, Sexy Red.
I have that on here too. Let's go.
yeah. So I guess you have it higher than 10?
I have it a little bit higher than 10,
so we'll
no,
save
you can do a little bit on it because we're already here.
Ski, anthem. Yeah. Anthem of the summer. And this song, I think, has lasting power. That's why it's on my list. This is going to be an anthem for summers to come. This is
certified hood classic.
Yeah, this is for all the girls in the pajama pants and the tank top and the Fat Farm shoes. This is for you. This is not only going to be a hit now in 2023, like maybe not the most, but out of our top 10s, this is probably going to last longer than most of our top 10s.
Yeah,
I think so. So Ski, Sexy Red. We're not putting in the Ice Spice category yet. You know, we got to see what she has coming. But if not for anything else, she'll have this song for a long ass time. So yeah, Ski, Song of the Summer, my number 10.
Okay, I agree. Song of the Summer, one of them for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
To me, it's whatever the women love. Yeah, is a song of the summer.
Yeah,
so this is a song of the summer to me.
So okay, I like Ski a lot too. I think that it's just like a fun track, bro. And also you play it in the club and you'll see dudes screaming it, which is like, you know,
I'm screaming it.
It's hard. I would say for most women in hip hop, when they make a song, it's an anthem for the women, and the dudes are kind of like,
yeah.
But Ski was one of those songs. It just like it crossed over easily. It wasn't even like a question. So shout out to Ski, Sexy Red. Shout out to her wearing her glasses all of the time,
literally.
Right. I think that's awesome. My number 10 is a little bit more low key, but it's an important one. It's On My Mama by Victoria Monet.
You think that's low key?
I think it's more low key than Ski, bro.
I don't even like then Ski for sure, but like the same group of people know On My
It's
Mama.
the same, it's the same group of people, but
On My Mama's a big track.
On My Mama is more of like, you know, again, more the house party than Ski is at the club. Okay.
So you liked On My Mama even though it uses a sample?
I did.
How do you feel about that?
I think the thing is like if the sample is like not the one for one replication that it was with like so many of like drill tracks this year, Nicki Minaj tracks this year, like so many tracks where it's just like one for one, like you're not doing anything with it. You know, I felt like there's at least On My Mama, she's doing something with the sample, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not just like a total copy. I think that, you know, the dance, you know, is great. I think that Victoria Monet is just having a moment. She's written so many songs for people that became hit songs. For her to finally have something that is just like, you know, a super stamp of approval, it's incredible. And I just thought that, like, I felt like, you know, if you're at any girl's crib or if you're at any environment when there were a lot of women, this song was playing, bro. This song was on. So I think this is a top 10. Easily. Right. And again, it also had its own dance and shit on TikTok. And I do count that when it comes to the songs that you have to.
I don't.
How do you not?
I only count outside.
I think you have to count TikTok.
TikTok it does hold some weight for sure, but I personally count outside. So we got both sides. You can count the inside. I'll count the outside.
I'm counting outside too. But I do think like if it's popping big on TikTok, you gotta count it. I mean,
yeah. You have to. As for a little bit, for sure.
All right, so you number 9, go ahead.
That's Victoria Monet became one of my women crushes this year, and number 9, I got another of my women crushes, Cleo Sol, Lost Angel.
Oh,
not one of the singles or anything, not one of the bigger songs, but to me, it's probably the best song she put out this year out of all of them. She went a little more gospel than she usually does.
Okay.
But Lost Angel is kind of that like in between where it's not too preachy, but still wholesome. If you're all about self-love and healing, Lost Angel, the song for you. So I went from Ski You, Sexy Red, to Lost Angel, Cleo Sol. We got range over here, okay? Any kind of song you're looking for, we got you.
Okay. I like that selection. I wouldn't be, it's not on my list, I can tell you that.
Of course. I was not worried.
But I respected my number 9. Okay. This is a song that I called out when we did the review. And then, like, it happens every time when we call out a song.
Yeah.
It becomes like a real thing. Fuck You Mean by Gunna.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Remember, I was like, the album's like, whatever. But that song, Fuck You Mean, is like that sound was like the thing that really drew me to it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it became his biggest hit.
Look what happened, okay?
Yeah.
So I've added that to the list of the songs that I call out on the review.
You can add that list. You can add that to the list for sure.
The songs I call out on the review that it, you know, like a week later, a month later, becomes like a hit song or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Fuck You Mean, again, I felt like I heard it everywhere. I felt like I heard it literally everywhere. It has this staying power of like, it's not super bombastic as a hip hop song, but it's not like super subdued. It's like just in this middle ground where that I feel like every type of hip hop fan likes it. And then it's also crossover to a pop space where you're always hearing like that gospel "Fuck You Mean" part, you know. So I think that it's a well-made track. I respect it. You have to guys. You gotta understand that I'm impartial.
We're not giving you the credit.
You gotta show
this you can't get credit for because this is only you showing yourself that you're right. This is not no love Gunna. This is not no love for Gunna. This is Demar showing love for Demar. Okay, I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing.
I respect Gunna. I don't think his music is fantastic, but he has songs.
No, for sure.
He has songs. This is one of those great songs of his. I say that this is one of Gunna's great songs, legitimately.
And I think what made this song a big hit is because it still appeals to the Gunna fan. I think this is still Gunna's vibe, still his flow. So, Fuck You Mean, I got no problems with that one being on here. My next song, now, I know for a fact a lot of people don't know this album came out because I was having a conversation with a couple of my friends about a battle that was going to happen, a versus that since recent events, obviously it's not going to happen anymore. It was Diddy versus Jermaine Dupri.
Oh, yeah, that's what happened. That's definitely not happening.
And you know, one of my friends said, "What has Jermaine Dupri done lately?" And I said, "He just dropped an album with Currency. You don't remember that?"
No.
And I realized people weren't up on it. It's called For Motivational Use Only. And there's a song on there with 2 Chainz called Off the Lot, which I think is one of the best songs of the year.
Okay. I have not heard it, so you can spin that for me. Like, I guess I'll listen to it later. I have not heard that.
Yeah, I know this. And it is really one of those like energetic songs that Currency's not really known for. It kind of feels more like a 2 Chainz song in a sense.
Okay.
But it is that like soul sample mixed with those like energetic drums. That's kind of like a summer drive around song. And like you're driving around to this song in the summertime, blasting it. Like if you pull up at a light, you hope it's the song that's playing. This is one of those. So Off the Lot, Jermaine Dupri, Currency, and 2 Chainz. If y'all haven't heard that song, this may be the only Currency song you have in your repertoire, but you're welcome.
Okay, it will be one of the very few in my repertoire when I listen to it. Number 8 for me. Okay, number 8, I've got Suspended by Sampha.
Okay, I have that on my list as well.
Okay.
You want to address it now or do you want to wait?
Well, actually, I'll do it now because my number 7 is Ski.
Okay.
Right. So Suspended, this was this track that I was talking about in the album's pod where I said, I'm like, I didn't have a song that really stood out for me for the high that I could show a person and be like, yo, this is sick. And then over time, Suspended emerged for me. And then it emerged for me, and I was like, is it just me? Right? And I had that feeling for a while. And I'm gonna reference another pod that we literally never do this on this podcast, but when I was listening to Popcast, right, New York Times, I think it's Joe Coscarelli, right? He pointed out, he's like, there's one song that I really like from Sampha, and I was like, Suspended. I said Suspended, and he said Suspended. I'm like, yes! Yes, it's not just me. This song is good as fuck. Like, I already knew it was good, but to the point that, like, I'm actually hearing other people talk about it now is, like, showing me, okay, like, it wasn't just me that thinks that this sticks out and is enough to show other people. Other people are also talking about that specific song as well. So I usually, like 99% of the time, I don't need any sort of confirmation or anything like that. But in this moment, I was like, yes, there's somebody else that is also saying this song is the juice. I talked about it on the album pod, but again, like his ability to create a space where if you feel suspended, you can't really fully define the genre of music that you're listening to. He has a great, great light voice, but it also, like, he goes from like the slow suspend, we'll include the audio here, and then to like get to a point where he's almost like rapping and like the distortion that comes on like the end of like his vocals, incredible.
Now this one was automatic.
Yeah.
I think in this case I was probably ahead of you in terms of knowing it was a song, but I was obsessed with Only. That was when you didn't love as much, but Only was my song at first. But I knew someone who, at the time we did the review, they told me they were listening to Suspended on repeat for days in a row.
Wow.
So I was already like, okay, there's 2 songs on here at least.
Yeah.
If I like Only and they like Suspended, we got something. So better late than never. Happy to hear that Suspended is on your list because it was an automatic for me. This next song, and I feel like...
Which number is it for you? Sorry.
For me, it's number 2.
Oh,
number 2.
Holy shit. I was like, your next number for the list.
No, it's number 2 for me. My number 7 song, this guy was on my Spotify Wrapped, and I tell everyone I think he's on my Spotify Wrapped just for this song alone, and that's Travis Scott with I Know.
Really?
Maybe one of the biggest songs on this list, a huge deal. But I think that Travis Scott has this ability to make songs like that are like catchy and captivating and everyone likes them. That they don't have to necessarily be like a fast-paced hyper song like Fiend, Right. If this is for someone who like Fiend is too much for them. I'm not in a place in my life. I don't need all that. This is like one step below. It's like still can get you hype, but not that kind of hype. And Travis Scott to me is one of the people making music like that. A lot of people when it comes to making a hype hip-hop, it's like there's one way to do it.
Right.
This to me is like the alternative to that, where it can still be hype, still can give you energy, but it's not, the mosh pit type of track. Right. Even though, like we know, Travis Scott fans are moshing to this, but you have the option of otherwise. So that's my number 7. I Know, Travis Scott. Probably the only reason he's on my Spotify Wrapped, if I'm being honest.
Wow, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that you didn't have Fiend. I thought Fiend is like the track.
Fiend. Oh, I love Fiend. I listen to Fiend in the gym very, very often, but I Know is like the production on I Know.
Okay.
Chef kiss.
All right. So my number 7, like I mentioned, Sexy Red. I didn't want to interrupt because we're just starting off, right? So Sexy Red, my number 7. So I'll do number 6.
Yeah.
Number 6. Songs by Jungle. Back on 74. Okay.
Oh, I love Jungle made the list.
Back on 74. I heard this song. I first heard it on TikTok, right? I saw the dance. And then I was like, that song's actually really good. Like, forget the dance. Like, the song's really good. And then I started to listen to the song. I'm like, yo, this song is going crazy. Like, the different instrumentation, the fact that I feel like this was like a group of people that actually made it in the studio was actually really good too. The airy vocals on it are fantastic. I just think that overall, like, it's a situation where it's like, if I didn't see it on TikTok, I wouldn't have known. Like, I've listened to other Jungle songs in the past. I love their videos. Like, I love the dancing in their videos. But this wasn't on my radar, right? So it put it on the radar for me, and then I was like, oh, this is really good. And then I was like, I can't stop listening to the song.
That's right? A good one. Back on 74.
Yeah, so Back on 74. So I'll add like the TikTok element is like the dance craze, the mini dance craze, because I feel like the dance craze didn't cross over into the mainstream, but the choreography, like if you like somehow got trapped in that hole, like you were just in that hole of people doing the choreography, the bent over like neck thing, and make sure you're looking to the side. Yeah. When you're doing the neck thing. People who had seen that video know exactly what I'm talking about, right? But you gotta look to the side when you're doing the bent over neck thing. And doing the muscle, like all the dance, like the dance move, like the choreography for it became like a thing, right? So I got
crazy.
So on top of like just like the overall song being fantastic, a song that like I listened to, one of those songs that I listened to multiple times in a row. The music video and the choreography and all that type of stuff for it was also phenomenal. So that's where we are. Number 6 for me.
Yeah, it's crazy to hear that Jungle is people are learning about Jungle from TikTok. I feel like such an old person even knowing that. And that's like here's the thing is like that's almost a definition of like what people call like the fake fan, because the original Jungle fan since like 2013 2014 would probably frown upon this person who's learning about them in 2023 from TikTok. But
yeah, I've heard there are others.
Anything. No, not you, but in general,
I know, but hey, man,
anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Shout out to Kevin Garnett.
My number 6, this song. No, I feel like I said to you before, I don't have a recollection of like what the mainstream is doing all the time. I'm in my own little world. I like what I like. We're into what we're into. But this song had a couple of pushes that I was surprised people didn't already know this song. And one was when Tyler, the Creator, mentioned it in an interview. Another one was when it was posted on the R&B Radar page, R&B Radar. RIP, I should say. But White Crocs, Jordan Ward,
oh my God, yeah.
Ryan Trey. I the first time, I guess, hearing of Jordan Ward. He had another song with him that he was on, but I didn't really know his like full catalog and everything. Yeah. His album was one of the albums probably should have got some recognition on this podcast on the album one. Ryan Trey is another kind of like low-key R&B artist. Not many people know him, but White Crocs really blew up after that. And it's a song that plays at parties sometimes. You hear it when you're out. Yeah. People are like making like videos about it. So to see a song like that kind of get the love in the kind of underground music scene this year was pretty cool. But I knew it first, and I had to put it on here.
Okay. I like that. I think that shout out to Tyler, the Creator, for basically trying to put him on, right? And Tyler, the Creator, is one of those. I would consider him a music snob, and for you to impress him, and for other people to also like it, because Tyler, the Creator, is the type of person where it's like, oh, I like, the strings on this song because of X, Y, Z. And like, I like track 6 on, obscure artists, like third album, blah, blah, blah. So it can kind of get like very deep music heady type of vibe and like kind of inaccessible for your average fan. But for Jordan Ward to actually have this song be like, Tyler, the Creator really likes it. And like people can listen to it and be like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, this is great. I think is great for him. Right. So I'm looking forward to his work in the future and overall what he does. My next project, which is number 5. Okay. This one, I feel like should be on most people's lists. And if not, you're not really listening to hip hop like that. Dave and Central C, Sprinter.
That's on my list too.
Right. Where do you have it?
I have it number 3.
Okay. Wow. Then my top 3 is going a little bit crazy. Do you want to talk about it now or later?
No, we can talk about it now.
So Dave and Central C, Sprinter. This link up, they're both 25. That was the whole point of this like EP that they had, Split Decision. But Sprinter overall is one of those songs that I think you can kind of just like play it for anybody and they're instantly sucked into it. Just like the effortlessness of Central C's flow, but then Dave also has like these low-key like shibs to a bunch of people in his bars that he's just like, he likes fucking with like bro girls because you take one flight and they're all impressed, you know what I'm talking about? Or like, he's in the club and like, the real reason why anybody wants to show up is because they heard Dave is inside. Like, so he has like these really, really like subtle just jabs at a lot of people, which Dave doesn't really do in his music, right? Like 1 and 2 songs, yes, but like Dave as an artist, you're not like he's a flex rapper.
Yeah.
Right? So for him to
try to stay humble.
Yeah, so for him to be like, I'm coming out, guns blazing, and for Central C to, I would say, I don't want to say they're like,
he kept up.
He kept up. He was like, he was there. He was, he was the second banana. He's like, he was the Scottie Pippen to Dave's Michael Jordan.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Very heavily respected, but we know who was doing the business. But Central C's hook, like they both are sharing the hook, right? It was awesome. So I think it's great.
I think this was a layup for Central C, if I'm being honest. Like the whole EP, really, Dave kind of like, handed him that in a sense.
But they're kind of like, they remind me of Drake and Kendrick Lamar in North America.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Where like Dave is the Kendrick Lamar where it's like, he's highly respected, right? Everybody sees him. Everybody, like his music is like really deep, not really a hit, like going to try and make a hit. Yeah. Right? Where Central C is like, I'm trying to make the hit song. Right? And his music is more about girls and it's more about like, it's more lighthearted and stuff like that. That's why I'm like, to me, that's what it seems like to me.
I don't know. I can't really get with that one.
You don't think so? You don't think that works?
I think Central C, Drake is almost too respected to be Central C.
Drake and Central C are like, they show up in each other's music videos like all the time now.
No, but I'm saying Drake is almost too respected to be Central C. I don't think Central C gets that kind of respect that Drake does, even though Kendrick is more respected. Yeah, because Central C, I said this before on this review, but anyone who was kind of knowing UK hip hop before he blew up, like it's random. It's random, but it feels random. No one was saying he was up next. Yeah. No one's saying he was the best rapper. He's the most hood.
Same thing with Drake, though.
No, what? People were saying Drake was next, for sure.
They were not like this.
No, this is unprecedented. Okay. But I'm just saying at the beginning of his career, when he blew up, when he's on the precipice, people were saying he was next. Okay. Before Central C blew up, there was no one saying, y'all just wait. So I think that's a little different, but listen, can't wait to review his album. Hopefully I could kind of walk all this hate back.
I don't think it's hate. I think it's just, I'm one of those people who I'm like, I see the potential. I'm like, I'm in, right?
Yeah, you're a potential guy.
But I've been winning off the potential. Who, think about it this way. Who has had potential that I bought in and it didn't work out?
Remains to be seen.
Exactly.
Remains to be seen. Yeah, I think the difference is, and I said this before, that there probably is not a American Central C, is that usually when someone rises to the top, you can some kind of see it coming, Right. The closest I would say was when Childish Gambino randomly blew up. Like he had albums that were like very underground, very low key, and then all of a sudden he's a Grammy Award winning rapper, But Central C was like in the morass, Think of who's ever like in the mix trying to fit. It's like Offset. Offset is part of the group. He's in the morass. If Offset all of a sudden becomes Kendrick Lamar 2 years from now, you're gonna be confused. Right. So I think that's it. But speaking of Drake, he's my number 5 song. I mentioned this song on our Scary Hours 3 review, and I was trying to I said, I got to pick a song from Scary Hours 3. I feel like all those songs are kind of imprinted in our brain for this year. We're gonna think of those songs. Think of Drake this year. But I went with the least rappy of all of them. You Broke My Heart by Drake.
Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I listened to this song the other day when putting this list together, and I'm like, nah, this is the breakup song. He's literally screaming, "You broke my heart." There aren't that many breakup songs where that's literally the course of the song. There's another way they're saying it, some kind of simile, some kind of metaphor, some kind of clever way of saying they've been hurt.
Right.
the chorus literally being, you broke my heart, you broke my heart. Just think of all the people Drake is going to have yelling in their car, you broke my heart, you know?
Right.
And then a minute later screaming, fuck my ex.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, that's like an example of his writing ability that no one else has. Like, that's just straightforward as ever. There's no one's going to misconstrue that, you know? So it's like making a song that hits like this and doesn't sound like whiny or corny because the chorus is literally saying, you broke my heart. You know, if you read those lyrics, you're kind of like, boy, what is this?
Yeah.
But somehow when he raps them, sings them, it works. So You Broke My Heart, number 5. And this is going to be, I think, the song out of all of Scary Hours 3 that will definitely be in Drake's set list. And they're going on tour in a couple months.
Yeah.
This will be the song of the set list easily.
Okay. All right. You can have that. I did not include a Drake song in my list, but my number 4, which is a song that I've been talking about for a little bit, but people, I guess, have been sleeping on it. Dominic Fike, Mona Lisa.
Oh, yeah, I don't get why you love this
Mona
song so
Lisa.
much.
You guys, wow, oh my God, even Chris is giving me the look.
I don't get it. Sorry to cut you off. After our Dominic Fike review, when you were gushing over that song, I went back and listened to it, and I still didn't get it. I was like, no, maybe I'm tripping. I honestly, I still don't get it. To me, there's like so many better versions of this song that are better than this song.
Well, for me, I don't know. You
just love it.
Mona Lisa, it's just like such a carefree vibe, lovey-dovey vibe. I think that Dominic Fike is doing a good job on singing it. I think the lyrics are simplistic, but also like to the point, you know, straightforward. I guess I fallen in love with this track.
It's a good track to frolic to. If you're gonna do some frolicking, this is a good track to frolic to.
Right, Mona Lisa. It's just it's so much fun, so carefree. I don't know. That's how it hits me. Also, you know, and you can't even really argue with it. It was in Spider-Man. It's getting streamed a ton. If you look at its numbers, it's crazy numbers of streams, like hundreds of millions. So, yeah, Mona Lisa. It's my number 4. You know,
very interesting.
You're the one with the Drake song, bro. Like, come on.
You Broke My Heart is better than Mona Lisa. That's not even a question. Yeah, that's an easy one. You Broke My Heart, Mona Lisa. Oh my God. The Mona Lisa people are the people who like Boy Genius. Okay.
Oh,
those are the same. Oh
my God. Wow. I cannot believe you just said that to me.
Yeah. That's like you had a bunch of great takes in this podcast. Your love for Mona Lisa is not one of them.
Oh my God.
My number 4 and this was actually my most played song of the year. I don't know how the song got so much play, but I think is, you know, when I say the song's gonna be obvious. Audio Hug, Summer Walker, J. Cole.
Oh, yeah.
Very calm song. He kind of did his part 2 with Pink Friday 2 with Let Me Calm Down with Nicki. But the thinking about the dirty macking in this song is pretty hilarious. And I've seen some people say that they kind of like have a beef with J. Cole because their girlfriend loves this song so much. So I could totally see that, but this is a good song. I like this song because I like songs where it's unique to the artist, you know, either your intersection as a person or your persona or your talent makes this a song that only you can make. This beat, someone rapping on it isn't the craziest thing in the world, but what he's talking about and how he's doing it, if someone else had this exact same verse telling Summer Walker, I see your pain, and then I would have a field day and they'd be pissed. You know, only J. Cole can kind of say these things on a song. Yeah. And it's like, oh, he means well. He means well. You know, so that's kind of why I like it, as well as like the words themselves is kind of like, oh shit, he really saying that? But this is like J. Cole using his power for good in the sense of like, I can get this off, so I'm gonna say all this. So I like Audio Hug, Summer Walker with J. Cole for my number 4 song.
Okay. You know, J. Cole was on a big feature spree this year. So, you know, I'm surprised that J. Cole's only made one song so far.
You know, my 2 and 3 we already named. Suspended. Right.
Yeah,
Sampha.
Yeah, do you have anything left to say?
Sprinter, Day Central Street. I'm gonna get my number 1.
Okay. So you have nothing else to say about the Sprinter?
Just Wanna Rock? No, Sprinter. Sprinter was, I think, one that I was surprised that it became as big as it did. Just because I've been a Dave fan for so long, and you know, Dave has better songs than that. It's not like it's the best Dave song he's ever made. Yeah. So I guess as a Dave fan, I was just being like another good Dave song. But that's just part of being a fan is like you don't know what's good to everybody else. You're like hearing Dave for the first time almost because they're Central C fans. So I kind of missed that part of it.
That combo is like a golden combo. Like I feel like they bounce off each other so well. And again, the aspects of hip hop that they represent, very rarely get that combo. Again, like Drake and Kendrick Lamar don't collab that frequently. Yeah,
and I think too, like Central C is having, I don't want to say the image crisis, but his image and him blowing up is very separate from what his career has been like the 5-6 years before that.
Yeah.
So Central C, even though they're the same age, is almost a disciple of Dave. Like, the videos Dave used to do, Central C is doing the same kind of videos. The freestyles Dave used to do, same kind of freestyle. So to see them kind of, to me, it's like OG and Youngboy, even though they are the same age.
Yeah.
But in a really cool way. And then Suspended with Sampha, that one was, I knew from the jump. When that person told me this on repeat, I was like, yeah, this is out of here. And I think he needed a song like that. I feel like, again, like in music, we're so locked into who we like, what we like. Oh, he's worked with Drake. He's, like this, the kind of status we give an artist. But most people don't care about that.
Okay.
They just want to hear what's good and what's not. So I'm happy that you finally got a song like Suspended that the casual fan can get into.
Okay. I have my number 2. Because I didn't do, you were about to do your number 1.
Yeah, do your number 2.
My number two is 2 songs, right? Because I think that, okay, I'm just going to say, this is New Jeans. I was going to say, for me personally, it's OMG, right? Oh my God.
I can't believe that's your favorite, but continue.
But for everybody else, they're saying Super Shy.
Yeah,
right?
Super Shy.
They're saying Super Shy. So that's why I gave it like, it's like, I gave it a
part
slash.
1, part 2.
Right? I do think personally, OMG, I just like it better. I think it's a better song. I think it's breakdown midway through where it's like almost like a hip hop song. I think that the dance included in it is incredible. I think the music video is good, right? When I think about the song, I think about like every aspect of the song, right? And I think that, the trade-off of the singing between the artists, right? Between each member is really good. And I think that it's just like a fun track that was sticking for a long period of time, right? But I think that because it happened in January, it literally came out January 2nd.
That's crazy.
Right? That I think that it came out and it was starting the wave. It was starting the New Jeans wave.
Yeah, OMG is what heated it up.
Yeah, right? So it's kind of like, for most people, Super Shy is like the crescendo. For me, it's the crescendo, right? But OMG was like, wait, something's happening right now. Something's happening. There's a little percolation that's happening, right? And then, right, with Super Shy was the explosion. But for most people, they just saw the explosion. They didn't see the volcano bubbling. You know what I mean?
OMG was your gateway drug.
Maybe, I guess.
So you have a special spot for it. That makes sense.
Yeah, I love OMG. I really like Ditto a lot too. Right? I think I came around on Ditto a lot, but OMG I just think is, I don't know. I think that the hook is incredible. The breakdown from like the song to the hook is awesome. Like, again, and the dance is phenomenal. Like, it's so good, bro. It's so good. And again, its ability to fly across the internet through like TikTok was crazy. It was actually insane. Yeah,
no, they were popping on TikTok.
Right. So so for me it's OMG. For everybody's Super Shy. I understand why it's Super Shy. People love Pink Panthers. They're gonna like Super Shy as well. And I think that they're just like the airiness of the singing is fantastic. Music video is so colorful, so bright. And I think that, the ability for them to bounce between English and Korean, because
seamlessly.
Yeah, 3 of them speak English like fluently. It's like Hani and Danielle are from Australia. They speak it like fluently. And then there's Minji, who spent time in Canada, who speaks English a good amount. And then like Hyeon and Herin are like they were born in Korea, so they don't really speak English that much. But because they have so many members that just like they just speak English, their ability to mesh it is like second to none. Like no other group is really able to do that. So, and do it as effortless.
Yeah, no, it's so good.
Yeah, so Super Shy, I get it, but for me, it's OMG.
Okay, let's hear your number 1. I want to hear your number 1. Since that's your number 2,
right?
What's your number 1? Because I thought that would have been your number 1.
My number 1, without question, "Boy's a Liar" by Pink Panthers and Ice Spice. It's easily number 1. Easily, like it's not even a question.
Okay, that's fair.
This song is like, I feel like this song is 2023. Like this song is it's defined so much about like Ice Spice's ability, like her hit making ability, both of them, their hit making ability, right? The fact that this is a part 2 that Pink Panthers was able to invite somebody in on a song that was already pretty good and then remix it and make it better. Basically, it's a remix, right?
Yeah.
Even though we're calling it part 2, it's a remix. The ability for Ice Spice to exist in a Pink Panther song was not something that I thought was possible.
And she fit well.
And she fit very well. And she also, the subject matter where it was like an FU to like dudes, that boy's a liar, you know what I mean? And the music video, they went well together. I feel like they both fed off of each other. I just think it's an awesome, incredible song. Pink Panthers' hook, hook making ability is incredible. I just think that this song overall was kind of like, it's going to be, I think, could be career defining for both artists.
I was going to say the same thing. I think it already is because this is probably the definition of a good collab is where it blows up the both of them.
Yeah.
And I would say like Ice Spice fans still aren't super familiar with Pink Panthers and vice versa, but they both were able to blow up even though, they still kind of have their own corners of the internet.
Yeah.
So.
And it was also, this collab started because I think it was Ice Spice, I think it was Pink Panthers DM'd Ice Spice, and they're like, yo, we should collab on a song. And then the song happened, right?
Yeah.
Organic. Super, super, super organic. The hook is incredible. The lyrics are they're fun and carefree, and like, again, a FU, but it's a light FU because it's a Pink Panther song, right? And then Ice Spice's like her deep voice, being able to fit into this track and being able to find a pocket that you can rap on Boy's a Liar, I feel like is difficult.
That was impressive. I gotta say that was impressive.
Right? So just overall, like it's a very, like this song to me also shows like the conversation that is happening with different genres via the internet now. Like you can be Ice Spice and see a Pink Panthers and be like, yo, this is sick. And it's like nowhere near the type of music that you're making and be like, yo, let me hop on this shit.
Yeah. That's not new though, but it's cool to see with newer artists doing that. Yeah. Like they're not
Gen Z artists, bro. Both of them Gen Z artists.
Yeah, the super young artists. But I feel like that's always been the case. Like a good amount of artists now have met like on the internet. That's how
but
they
what
met.
I'm trying to explain is like the genre hop. To go from drill to like a UK garage type of drum and bass type of thing, I was like, this is a weird
This is where we disagree. I always felt like Ice Spice and Pink Panthers are closer in genre and sound than you think they are. But, the foresight from Pink Panthers to be like, yo, you need to come over here. Ice Spice maybe had, 4 or 5 songs out at that time? So, for her to have the foresight to be like, yo, you fit over here, get over here.
Yeah.
That's impressive. So this is, I don't feel any ways about that being your #1 song.
Okay.
Obviously.
You don't love it though. You don't love it like I love it.
Yeah, I don't love it like you love it. I'm not the audience they were going for. But I think a successful collaboration, a good song from the both of them. And I think, that's something that at least for Ice Spice going forward in her career is like, I would say getting her more time. You know, like she probably has an extra year just to figure it out, because of that
is
song.
it really an extra year? Or is like she's just on? I just think Ice Spice is on,
Yeah, an extra year. An extra year.
God.
Yeah.
Remember Munch came out in 2022. August 2022. We're about to enter 2024.
And this is where I think we're different. I think the internet has kind of collapsed time in a sense where these things feel like a longer time has passed. I don't feel like that much time has passed at all.
Okay.
A lot of like Sexy Red Ski Yee came out in February and was a song of the summer. So Munch coming out in August 2022 and popping in 2023, that seems, part of the course. But I digress. Now, the actual #1 song of the year,
oh my God,
for those of y'all who've been outside, is Taliban's.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Byron
oh
Messiah.
God, what the fuck?
Chris, our producer, is nodding. And this is why I said earlier, there's inside, there's outside. Boys a Liar is good, is popping inside.
Oh my God.
If you outside, Taliban's was the song of the year for sure.
Are we talking?
Had a remix with Burna Boy, which was a huge moment for it. I think that's like, to me, I'll always go by that logic because if you have a song that bangs outside regardless of the streams, you can live forever. There are so many artists who they just have one song that plays in the club every night, and that's how you know them. But I think with someone like Meek Mill, unless Meek Mill is still a big artist, and Meek Mill is still Meek Mill because you hear Dreams and Nightmares every time you go to the club. So this to me is like not his dreams and nightmares, but this is one of those songs that like this will be playing in the club 6-7 years from now, 12 years from now, 20 years from now. And as soon as it starts, everyone will at the same time say, yeah, but from which part?
Oh my God.
All together. And so to me, it was obvious. Like, if I'm being honest, I made my list with number 1 first and did the rest after that.
Well, so did I. So did I.
And we got to go his cover. If you want to stay inside on the interwebs and look at the screen, Boys Are Liars for you. If you want to go outside, Taliban is for you. To me, they're both right, but that's just what the difference is. You know, if you were outside, Taliban's was the song. There was not a question. I think there's a group of people who you ask them, Taliban's and Boys a Liar, don't even know Boys a Liar, or they say it's a crazy question. And then there's another group who you ask Boys a Liar, Taliban's, never heard of Taliban, never heard of Byron Messiah. So I think that's just the difference between the two of them. But I do think that, you know, if you talk about which song has more likely of being played outside in 5 years, Taliban's is a clear answer for me. But again, we got to wait and see.
Yeah, maybe we just run in different circles. I feel like on a
for sure.
Because Boys a Liar, I feel like I don't know. I just felt like that was it. I just felt like I'm like, yo, everything is was living in its shadow.
That's crazy. I didn't hear that anywhere. Like I would only see that on my timeline because I'm friends with people who are Ice Spice fans. That's literally it. I'm nowhere would I go anything. Like I'm not only going to one type of event. I'm going to different types of events, different types of music. You know, Boys a Liar was not. But again, I think it's a different sensibility because I also think it's an age thing. You know, I think that if you're, you know, 25 and under, Boys a Liar is probably way more in your sphere, way more what you're into. And I think if you're older, Taliban's is definitely more what you're into. So I'm just happy we had 2 different number 1s to show both sides. Yeah. Because for all the people who have seen grass before, who have touched grass before, I want to represent them. You know,
like this guy's baiting me as like I have never like pried my eyes away from the screen.
I've seen you outside many times. I've seen you outside many times.
I am outside, people, but I still think Boys a Liar was the song of the year. Top song, number 1 song for me. I do have honorable mentions. I'm just gonna rattle them off. I'm not gonna dive into them because you could literally put down a million of them. The Nicki Minaj song, Everybody. That was honorable mention for me. We did not mention this at all. I would say this is my number 11. Agora Hills by
that was on my honorable mentions. I just deleted completely.
Is Agora Hills by
Doja Cat?
Doja Cat. Why I could not remember her name. Maybe I'm just like trying to self-delete Doja Cat. But
100%.
Yeah, Agora Hills. It was a moment.
No, it's still.
And it's still a thing right now. You know what I mean? Like it's still like a big track right now. I think that hook, the hook is really fucking good. It's creating. It has been paired with a person on TikTok, and it propelled them to being a person. Prayag from Toronto.
Yeah.
Basically merged his trend, like him, and that trend of that song, and propelled him into becoming like he's like at 5 million on TikTok. I was following him when he was in the hundreds. Like hundreds of thousands, okay? So I was early on that. And I screenshotted that shit because I knew he was gonna be huge.
So funny.
Okay.
I can't wait to tell my friend that. That's so funny.
I'll send you the screenshot.
No, I was following him early too, but we were just like we used to send him back and forth, and we're like, this guy's so funny. But yeah, it's I'm happy for him that he blew up. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. And then the Agora Hills track was part of his success. It was. And I think that overall that track is just like really good, right? It's just really, really good. The hook is super good. The songwriting of it is super good. Like there's actually a message in that song if you really listen to the lyrics. So yeah, so that's my number 11. Then we had the Rushy Pressure, the song by Rushy Pressure.
Okay.
I'm Geekin' by DDG. Respect DDG.
Really?
Lean Beef Patty by JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown. And then I have the song that Mac DeMarco called just Good Garbage. I forgot the number because it has just like a string of numbers. Yeah. But like
that one. That's a good
that song. That I have that.
That's a good one.
And then the song by Billie Eilish, What Was I Made For? It was a ballad for Barbie.
Yeah.
It was a great song. A little bit overplayed. Just like the song by Miley Cyrus that I did not include on this list at all because they overplayed that shit to fucking death. Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to go outside where they're playing that. I'll tell you that. If they're playing that outside, that's not where I want to be.
So annoying.
I like your honorable mentions. I feel like you had some good ones on there. Pressure.
Yeah.
Pressure was someone I thought about for my list. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I think that had a chance to make it.
Yeah.
I do think that if we do songs again next year, now that we have a full year to do it, I think we got to have like a tally of songs we have like going over the year to choose from. Maybe every month we gather a few songs. But to see the difference in like, you know, the songs that are like more TikTok centric or like that thing, I think, you know, that's why Ski Yee was so good, because Ski Yee wasn't as big of a like TikTok song. You know, like
that's true.
It was just more a big song you heard outside. And I feel like, you know, I'm always questioning how much of these TikTok songs are going to travel to outside, you know, not the other way around. And, you know, most of the songs you named, I feel like didn't actually translate to outside. So I want to see how that continues in the following year, because it is a difference where it's like on your timeline thing, oh my God, this is everything.
Yeah.
And then you go outside and it's a very different ball game. So I wonder how that's going to be. I thought of it with Agora Hills, because Agora Hills is one I think has done both.
Yeah. Well,
you
really?
know? Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really heard that one much.
A lot of people who I know are not really into Doja or music are bumping Agora Hills.
Okay.
So it's not you can bump on your own. You don't need to be like at a party or
That's
anything.
True.
So Agora Hills is one of those, but I'm interested to see like the you know, the translation of that. We talked about the TikTok chart. Like that's what I'm always watching, is like the TikTok song that you think is like your whole, like that Flyana Boss song. You ain't hear that nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's only on the internet.
You know, so it's like I think that's kind of what I'm paying attention for, is this, what are the songs that make it outside? And I think one that you mentioned in your top 10 was On My Mama. On My Mama was definitely an outside song.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, next year we'll have more of that, but that's something to pay attention to. Now, before we get out of here, I want to ask you about one artist to watch in 2024.
Okay.
We've mentioned a bunch of artists, a bunch of songs, a bunch of albums too.
Yeah.
Is there one or two artists you think people should be on the lookout for in 2024?
I think Playboi Carti. I think Playboi Carti is it.
That's great. I have him on my list too. I'm happy you named him, but I have him on my list too.
Yeah, Playboi Carti, basically, he's back, right? He has released a new song, and he doesn't do that unless like he did that with At Meh, right? But then later in the year,
that took so long for that was like almost a full year before Whole Lotta Red came out.
So I'm just saying that it's visible now. Like he's actually doing things again, and that to me indicates like there's new music coming out. He also said in the song, music out 2024. Music is out 2024. So there's gonna be music. There's gonna be music.
And he did the old thing that he used to do, which is the move I always think is good. Is release a song on YouTube before anywhere else.
Yeah.
That is like, you know, one of the old school internet moves. I know y'all are not old enough to know that, but one of the old school internet moves. So Playboi Carti was on my list too, actually. I have two people, but Playboi Carti is on the list too.
Okay.
I think everyone's kind of like, some people are still in love with it, some people don't like it.
My thing is for Playboi Carti, like his music is, I said this before we even had this podcast, back on Instagram, when I was recording it for my favorite albums of the year, or even decade in 2019, where I said Die Lit was one of the best albums of the decade. And I think that Playboi Carti is going to be one of the most influential artists of our time. I did say that.
He already has been.
And basically that is borne out, right? Die Lit and Whole Lotta Red, which we didn't even think was that good, became so influential, basically generated this whole rage sphere, this opium aesthetic.
Yeah.
He started that. It only exists because of him.
And I'm interested to see how it develops, because I always look, to me, he's like an offshoot of A$AP Rocky. He was A$AP Mamba at one time.
Yeah.
A$AP Rocky is like his OG in a sense, and he just took the A$AP Rocky stuff and just, you know, turned it up a notch. But like Kid Cudi, we talked about all Kid Cudi's sons kind of like surpassing him.
Yeah.
I want to see how Playboi Carti is with all his sons outside. I think he can still hang. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I just want to see it.
Yeah,
you know?
me
So
too.
I'm excited to see how that goes down. I like the new song, so I'm excited to see how everything goes down. I had Jack Harlow on this list.
Really?
Everyone knows Jack Harlow is. He's dropping a project, but just because he dropped that Jackman that we liked, you know, he's in a different space than he was when he dropped the previous project. So that's something to watch. But my main person or group to watch is Salt. People are finally getting hip to them. I feel like this was the year a lot of people, you know, like kind of found out who they were. But they're 10 projects deep at this point. So not at all a new artist, but I think that people are starting to know that they exist, one, who they are, two, and kind of the members and how they're built, which I think is going to help build, you know, their buzz in the next year. Because I think people just didn't know what was going on. Like, I think I can hear Cleo Soul, but I don't know what's going on.
Right.
I think people are now going to start putting faces to the names. And so I think Salt's gonna have a face. They now are faceless. They try to be. I think that's about to be over pretty soon.
Okay. Well, I'll be looking out for Salt. I did listen to I think one of their albums last year.
Yep. They put 3 albums.
Yeah, so I listened to one of them. So they're putting out a lot of stuff. Thank you everybody for tuning into the Album Pod today, where we're talking about basically the best songs that we thought happened this year. Obviously, we're living in two different worlds, basically. Because I'm talking Boys a Liar is banging, guys. It's number 1. Make sure you follow us on our social media. You know, we're talking about Twitter at AlbumoPod, TikTok at AlbumoPod, and Instagram at AlbumoPod. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube, right? Make sure you're subscribing, talking in the comments, comment, subscribe, doing all that good stuff. We are in the comments. I am talking to you. Adriel is talking to. We are in the comments if you're commenting. And thank you everybody who's already subscribed and is already in here. And I want to say shout out to 2023, one of the better years of music.
Yes.
When it comes to hip hop, we're having a little bit of a difficulty, but overall for music, I think it's a great time, and I'm looking forward to 2024 and see what happens going forward. So Adriel, make sure you know yourself, know your worth.
See you in 2024.